G for giraffe, G for goat, G for garlic, G for ginger, G for gorilla, G for girl, G for। इस तरह से आप भी अपने बच्चे की वोकेबलरी को बिल्ड कर सकते हैं। वो सिर्फ A फॉर एप्पल, B फॉर बॉल, C फॉर कैट इतना बंद के नहीं रह जाएगा। उसे A, B, C, D इनसे स्टार्ट होने वाले सारे के सारे ऑब्जेक्ट के नाम पता रहेंगे। इससे बच्चे का जो ब्रेन है वो बहुत ज़्यादा इम्प्रूव भी हो जाएगा, उसकी लर्निंग स्किल भी बढ़ जाएगी और वो सारी चीज़ों से अवेयर भी हो जाएगा। जब उससे पूछा जाएगा कि ए फॉर, तो वो सिर्फ एप्पल नहीं, उसके माइंड में एक साथ बहुत सारे वर्ड्स आएंगे, जिससे कि उसका कन्फ्यूज़न भी दूर हो जाएगा और आगे फ्यूचर में जाके उसको स्पेलिंग बनाने में और साउंड सीखने में प्रॉब्लम नहीं आएगी। लेट्स स्टार्ट। ए फॉर एप्पल, A for aeroplane, A for X, A for almirah, A for ant, A for arrow, A for alligator, A for arm, A for astronaut, A for ambulance, A for almond, A for avocado, A for angry, A for apricot, A for abacus। आप भी इस तरह से या तो खुद से बना सकते हैं या फिर मार्केट में भी मिलती है A to Z पिक्टोरियल बुक, तो आप वो भी परचेज कर सकते हैं। मैंने ये अपने बेटे के लिए बनाई थी। नाउ B अल्फ़ाबेट। B for boy, B for bag, B for bucket, B for bell, B for babe, B for bee, B for bat, B for bottle, B for bat, B for ball, B for balloon, B for banana, B for bicycle, B for boat, B for butterfly, B for bag, B for bus, B for book, B for beer, B for bird, B for beetroot, B for broom. Now C alphabet. C for cow, C for cat, C for chair, C for carrot, C for cock, C for car, C for cake, C for clock, C for cloud, C for candle, C for camel, C for cup, C for crayon, C for circle, C for cape, C for crepe, C for cherry, C for corn, C for coat, C for cry, and C for chocolate. Now D alphabet. D for dinosaur, D for donkey, D for dice, D for drum, D for doll, D for donut, D for dog, D for duck, D for deer, D for dolphin, D for diamond, D for dress, D for deer, D for door, D for dove, D for desk, D for dart, D for daisy, D for dustbin. Now E alphabet. E for elephant, E for eye, E for egg, E for envelope, E for ear, E for engine, E for eraser, E for eagle, E for eggplant, E for earth, E for eight, E for elbow, E for ill, E for emu, E for 18, E for 11 and E for equal. Now F alphabet. F for fox, F for flower, F for fish, F for fly, F for finger, F for fire, F for fan, F for four, F for flag, F for farmer, F for fog, F for freeze, F for 5. F for fire truck. F for frog. Now G alphabet. G for giraffe. G for goat. G for garlic. G for ginger. G for gorilla. G for girl. G for guitar. G for grass. G for glue. G for gift. G for gun. G for grapes. G for glasses. G for gloves. G for gate. G for globe. G for ghost. G for grasshopper. And G for goose. Now H alphabet. H for horse. H for helicopter. H for hippopotamus. H for helmet. H for hen. H for house. H for hand. H for happy. H for hot. H for hurt. H for honey. H for hammer. H for hanger. H for heart. H for head. H for hoop. H for heavy. H for handkerchief. H for horn. H for hook. And H for hamburger. Now I alphabet. I for igloo. I for iron. I for injection. I for iguana. I for ink pot. I for insect. I for island. I for ice. I for ice cream. I for ice skate. I for iris. I for icicle. And I for ivy. Now J alphabet. J for jeep. J for jacket. J for juice. J for joker. J for jug. J for jam. J for jelly. J for jellyfish. J for jumper. J for jeans. J for jackfruit. J for jet. J for jar. J for jump rope. J for jewelry. J for jackal. And J for jaguar. Now K alphabet. K for kangaroo. K for kitten. K for king. K for kiwi. K for key. K for knife. K for kettle. K for kite. K for ketchup. K for knee. K for koi. K for cola. K for keyboard. K for kelp. K for kiss. K for kayak. And K for kidney. Now L alphabet. L for lion. L for ladybug. L for lizard. L for leaf. L for lamp. L for ladyfinger. L for lemon. L for ladder. L for lips. L for lollipop. L for lamp. L for ladder. L for leg. L for lotus. L for log. L for log. L for light. Now M alphabet. M for motorcycle. M for moon. M for milk. M for monkey. M for mouse. M for mushroom. M for map. M for mask. M for mango. M for mop. M for magnet. M for mug. M for mat. M for melon. M for mouth. M for mole. M for mel. M for music. M for mother. And M for mitten. Now N alphabet. N for nurse, N for nose. N for net, N for night. N for necklace, N for neck. N for nine, N for nut bolt. N for noodles, N for nip, N for nest. N for nail. N for newspaper, N for needle. N for napkin, N for nightingale. N for notebook, N for novel. N for nectarine and N for numbat. Now O alphabet. O for ostrich, O for ox, O for one, O for octopus, O for orange, O for oval, O for owl, O for octagon, O for oven, O for onion, O for oar, O for olive, O for otter. Now P alphabet. P for peace, P for parrot, P for peacock, P for penguin, P for pencil, P for pen. P for pigeon, P for pear, P for potato, P for pumpkin, P for pig. P for pizza, P for pant, P for popcorn, P for pineapple, P for papaya, P for pickle, P for plant, P for parachute, P for pin, P for panda, P for pen and P for pig. P for pumpkin. Now Q alphabet. Q for queen, Q for quill, Q for question mark, Q for quarter, Q for quite, Q for quell, Q for quiver, Q for quilt, Q for quartz, Q for queens, Q for coat, Q for QR code. Now R alphabet. R for rose, R for rainbow, R for ring, R for rocket, I for rhinoceros, R for rabbit, R for robot, R for rain, R for ribbon, R for radio, R for radish, R for raspberry, R for red, R for rack, R for red, R for raccoon. Now S alphabet. S for sunflower, S for sun, S for spider, S for snail, S for shark, S for starfruit, S for snake, S for slide, S for strawberry, S for snowman, S for sheep, S for spoon, S for socks, S for scissor, S for sheep, S for starfish, S for soap, S for saw, S for seal, S for seahorse, S for sailboat, S for six, S for swan, S for soldier, S for septagon, S for scorpion, S for stump, S for spade and S for seven. Now T alphabet. T for 10, T for tractor, T for truck, T for towel, T for tiger, T for tortoise, T for tree, T for traffic light, T for tent. T for top. T for tie. T for telephone. T for tab. T for teddy bear. T for t-shirt. T for tub. T for toe. T for television. T for tooth. And T for train also. Now U alphabet. U for unicycle. U for umpire. U for umbrella. U for up. U for unicorn. U for uncle. U for uniform. U for urn. U for under table. U for UFO. And U for utensils. Now V alphabet. V for van. V for vulture. V for volcano. V for vowel. V for violin. V for village. V for was. V for vest. V for wine. V for vacuum. V for vegetables. Now W alphabet. W for wolf. W for well. W for woman. W for will. W for watermelon. W for well. W for watch. W for wrist. W for whistle. W for web. W for window. W for water. W for wall. W for wool. W for wagon. And W for windmill. Now X alphabet. X for X-ray. X for Xmas tree. X for xylophone. X for xenops. X for gyrus. X for X-ray fish. X for jebek. X for box. Now Y alphabet. Y for yak. Y for yacht. Y for yogurt. Y for yo-yo. Y for yarn. Y for yellow. Y for yolk. Y for yum. Y for yoga. And Y for yardstick. Now Z alphabet. Z for zebra. Z for zoo. Z for zigzag. Z for zero. Z for zipper. Z for zucchini. Z for zebra crossing. And Z for जीनिया। तो इस तरह से आप भी A to Z अपने बच्चे को स्टार्ट होने वाले बहुत सारे ऑब्जेक्ट के नाम बता सकते हैं। बच्चे के माइंड में सिर्फ A for एप्पल, B for बॉल ही नहीं आएगा, वो उससे स्टार्ट होने वाले बहुत सारे वर्ड्स भी बता पाएगा। तो आपको अगर ये वीडियो थोड़ा भी पसंद आया है तो फिर वीडियो को लाइक कीजिए, फैमिली और फ्रेंड्स के साथ में शेयर कीजिए। अगर चैनल पे पहली बार आए हैं तो फिर चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और पास में बने हुए बेल आइकन के बटन को जरूर क्लिक कीजिए ताकि सबसे पहले नोटिफिकेशन मिले।